Hey everyone, this is Chess, and welcome back from the 4th of July weekend. This is the first official Monday. I hope you guys had a great time. I hope you guys got your fill of food and barbecue and refreshments and everything else. Hope you guys had a good break and met Monday head on. I wish I did. I had a great weekend, and I got to see my grandpa act like a little kid again, and gave him a sparkler, and he wrote his name in the sky and all kinds of cool stuff. And it was great seeing him happy and life full of life and everything else. So big positive on that note. And probably the best firework I could have ever asked for was something as simple as a sparkler and seeing the sparkle in his eye from it. And that's something I'll never forget. And it's those little memories that mean a whole lot more than the biggest firework that ever gets blown up in the sky. So I hope everyone made it back safe. I do want to mention that I feel horrible about the tragic accident that happened, and at least one young man was killed by a firework. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Condolences to his family and everything. Horrific accident, and that's something that you don't want on the 4th of July or any holiday or event or anything like that, is something that goes that badly wrong. And yeah, so anyway, enough about that. I got a new toy. I got a new Wacom Intuos tablet, and it's also a touchpad thing, and trying to learn how to use it and everything else. And I will tell you right now that it's got a pressure sensitive issue that I can't figure out right now for some reason. Every once in a blue moon, it decides that it does not want to be pressure sensitive and wants to give me the boldest line it can possibly give me and ruin my artwork, which, I mean, there's always the undo button, but it happens a little more often than I kind of expect. And so, yeah. Anyway, so there's that, and I also want to give a shout out to my friend. I got to eat that Mexican food that I told you about before, and spent some time with that friend, and I thank them for holding up on their end of the bargain. I know that doesn't sound like much, but I appreciate it a whole lot. I don't go out too often, and so I look forward to any chance I have to spend time with friends and stuff like that, especially certain ones. And I did get to spend some time with my other friends that are heavily into gaming as much as I am, and I got to play some more of that Betrayal at House on the Hill. And man, let me tell you, it was much better the third, fourth, and fifth time. I can't actually remember how many times we played. I know it was at least two. Wonderful times, and yeah, we played three. It was 3 games, and I think every time it gets better. This time we had one more person than we did last time, so we actually had one more player, and that really made a lot of difference, having that fourth person in that game, and so just playing with three. I can only imagine what happens if you play with even more. I suspect somewhere around 5 or 6 is pretty optimal. 4 to 6 is probably optimal. I don't know what the box is, and probably is 4 to 6, knowing my luck. So after that, yeah, that's about all I got to say for now, except for the fact that today is just been a stereotypical run-of-the-mill Monday, especially after coming back from a 3-day weekend, and today has thrown just about everything at me that it could. Anything that could have possibly gone wrong in some way, it went wrong. And even though it wasn't horribly bad or anything like that, it just kind of adds up when you get a few high notes of the day, but the amount of things coming back in a negative light outweigh the good. And I just want to say that is extremely important in those times, especially on these Mondays and stuff like that after weekends, to remain as positive as possible. I know there's kind of a drag, if you will, getting back into the swing of things after a 3-day weekend, and you don't really want to go back to work. You don't want to start your week off or anything like that because you've had so much fun or so much excitement or so much eventfulness from a holiday like that, and you got to see fireworks and barbecues and family and everything else and had a great time. And it makes the bad things seem worse than what they really are. You really have to keep that into a perspective of really it's just normal run of the mill things that do happen on a almost bi-weekly basis sometimes and stuff like that. I mean, nothing extremely bad happened. You know, I didn't lose a limb or have any really bad news or something, you know, is costing me a lot of money because it broke or anything like that. At least not yet. Knock on some kind of wood. And so, I mean, today could have happened 100 different times worse. So, but at the same time, there was really nothing to note out of it all either. I got a new toy, and today was kind of productive on the work end of things. And it's really sad when work is the high point. Um, I don't know how much it was for anybody else. I can only imagine everyone else had a similar day probably that I did. So we can all drink or do whatever we need to get through the day, and we can do it together, which is important to find common ground with all of us. We're all equal in that respect, that all of us suffer Mondays, especially after a holiday. So, yeah, let's just say we all had a day like that, and even if you had a great day, that's awesome. So remain positive as best you can, and um, if you need someone to talk to or anything like that, by all means do it. Don't try to hold that stuff in, especially on a day like today. That's the reason why I'm here telling you guys this. It's not because I need anything. I just need to let that out, and that's the biggest thing is just let that out and not hold it in. So, big thing. Um, that's all I have today and tonight. And I heard somewhere that it's supposed to have a lot of rain in this area, and we need rain, but at the same time, after the last set of floods and stuff like that, I don't know how much more rain we actually do need. I do know that we need some, and I'm not really looking forward to anything flooding, even though that's kind of what they're calling for in this area. Um, I know other people need rain more than we do right now, so uh, yeah. But I do love the rain, so I'm kind of looking forward to it and to cool things off because it's been bloody hot. I almost collapsed from overheated exhaustion on the 4th of July, and just it was getting into that heat index of the 100-degree mark, which fries my brain, especially with a new haircut. And it felt like I could put an egg in my hair and it would scramble and fry. So yeah, that's never a pleasant feeling. Always keep heat in mind when you're outside and be prepared. Um, so anyway, you guys have a great night, and I am going to figure out how to spend the rest of mine. I still got to eat and everything else. This is about 9 minutes long, and I'm gonna say that I've taken enough of your time. So peace. I hate this camera sometimes. Anyway, good night.